Riot Games, let's talk. But not as the Forest King today. I'm just Mossy. Let's talk mano y mano.
Sprout!
You and I both know viewership and player base were down at the end of last season. It's nobody's fault, really. Not my fault, not your fault. But you went ahead and you tried to revitalize the game the only way you know how, by fucking shit up. But instead of just tweaking the map or adding in little plants or changing a dragon or two, you decided to change the balance of every champion in the fucking game. And I'm a little bit disappointed in that decision. Riot Games, hear me when I say this. Your item rework fucking sucks. It was a failure. I got Sivers building full lethality, Caitlyn building Serpent's Fang for some reason, Master Yi's invisible for 10 seconds, and Rengar's over there one-shotting tanks. Lethality is the least balanced set of items I've ever experienced. Literally every champion in the game can build them with ease. That should never be the case. Where is the defined roles of these champions? Why is an item that hard counters shields, namely Serpent's Fang, only 2,600 gold, and even ADCs are buying it? There's no reason not to buy it. What the fuck? Remember how you used to balance the entire game around Flash? And how dashing is very strong on all champions? Why can bruisers and supports and assassins alike just build free flashes? It doesn't make any sense. Prowler's Claw and Stride Breaker are the worst balancing nightmares since stackable Black Cleavers. In no universe should a champion like Darius, which is balanced around managing risk reward of running into melee range in a team fight, that's where all his power is, be able to ghost flash, stride break without any danger of getting caught. He always has an escape. He always has a gap close. That's not how the champion is balanced. Now, before we get into the granddaddy of item balance faux pas, let's talk about the timeline of the balance changes. 11.7 is coming with their 4th rounds of Ivern nerfs here, and that's what this video is really about. Enough of my balance rant. In patch 10.25, Ivern gets a slew of buffs. We got the shield cooldown and damage, we got the Q cooldown, and we get the Daisy attack speed. All things are good in the Ivern world, and coincidentally, that's the patch. In December last year, Elderwood Ivern came out. We all know Riot's classic sell the skin tactics, followed by a slew of nerfs. I guess the sales for Elderwood Ivern are down. Since then, we've had, in patch 11.1, Q cooldown nerfs, completely justified as that was the most egregious change out of all of them. There's no reason Ivern's Q should be on that low of a cooldown. But then we get 11.2, where they pull back the shield AP ratio down to 80% again. In a vacuum, not a huge change, not a huge problem, but it does erode the AP builds very slightly. And then in 11.3, we get health, growth reduction, and the base shield is reduced. Okay, once again, pulling power away from Ivern. 11.4, we get the jungle changes, which was a small buff for Ivern. Also, fuck you Reddit doubters, I was right again. Pay me bitches, I'm always right. I'm always right. I know you're gonna be mad watching this one. And then in 11.6, we actually get a buff, Gromp healing and Smite healing. That's very, very good for Ivern, as well as Daisy 3rd hit damage. Was a significant buff in Ivern's dueling. The win rate is reflective of that. So that's most likely why Riot is taking action in 11.7 to try and pull some power away from Ivern. In 11.7, they're nerfing Ivern's shield damage again, reducing the E damage from 70 to 170 to 70 to 150. This nerf is not enough to ruin the champion. In a vacuum, all these changes are very minuscule, but together they discourage build diversity and they pull power, in my opinion, unnecessarily away from Ivern as a champion. Now, the point I'm trying to make while going through all of this can be summed up by checking the win rates. Checking on u.gg, in Plat Plus, we see 11.2, 54% win rate, 11.3, 52% win rate, 11.4, back to 53% win rate, 11.5, 53% win rate, and 11.6, we're currently sitting at 53% win rate. In my opinion, despite Ivern's high overall win rates, these nerfs are unjustified. Ivern is the kind of champion where none of his abilities are overly oppressive, but strength is found by using all of his abilities in perfect harmony, a symphony of stuns, knockups, and shields perfectly utilized to shift the balance of any team fight. Not only are these buffs unnecessary, they further discourage the build diversity that Riot is trying to preach. Why bother going a fun new AP strategy when Riot is just begging us to use Moonstone Renewer every game? Give me power on Shirelles or Locket. Don't continually nerf opportunities to 1v9 carry with Night Harvester or Liandry's. If Riot continues down this path, Moonstone Renewer will be the only viable mythic if it isn't already, which it is, basically. Moonstone Renewer and Staff of Flowing Water are the reason Ivern feels as strong as he does. It allows bad Ivern players to get free wins by just standing there and becoming shield bots for characters using other broken items. Ivern is not oppressive. Ivern's abilities are not oppressive. This combination of items is what is oppressive. This is the reason that we've had 4 nerfs now, and the win rate, Plat Plus, of Ivern doesn't change, okay? It's not the champion. There's 50 more egregious things in the game than Ivern the champion. It's Moonstone Renewer and Staff of Flowing Water being broken for the last entire season 11, honestly, once they fix the bugs. It's my opinion that because Ivern is the best user of Moonstone Renewer in the game, other champions are not benefiting as much from it, probably reflecting in those champions' win rates or the item's win rates as a stat. Meaning it's a lot easier for Riot to just continually nerf Ivern into the ground rather than balance Moonstone Renewer across all of the other champions using it. Ivern's the beneficiary of being a god with Moonstone and having one-tricks bolster up the win rate with a low amount of games played. A good Ivern is as oppressive as any champion. However, Moonstone Renewer lets even mediocre Iverns feel stronger than they really are, discouraging risk and reward playmaking on the champion. This is the reason that these nerfs are not justified and that the items are the real reason Ivern feels too strong. Nobody is debating that these win rates are too high, but we need to find the root cause. And nerfing Ivern's AP, nerfing Ivern's build diversity, and nerfing Ivern's playmaking ability is not the way to do it. Now, taking 20 AP off of the shield in a vacuum is not a very big change, and for mediocre Iverns, they're not even gonna notice. But for a very skilled Ivern who's using all of their abilities very precisely, calculating their damage, min-maxing their skirmishing potential, it's going to alter the types of situations and the types of advantages that a very skilled Ivern is able to etch out for themselves during the course of the game. Season 11 item rework is a colossal failure for Ivern. I'm not mad, I'm just mossy. 0 out of 10, nerf Moonstone.